we talk about bad shows. What is your worst show that you've ever had?
Oh, so many to choose from. I thought about that because, the word traditional, my new definition of a worst show is not that. I mean, I've been eaten alive like everyone else. I'll give you two different versions of bad shows. Okay.
Okay.
The first one is San Francisco comedy competition. A lot of my worst shows were San Francisco comedy competitions because I was new, but I was good enough to make the finals, but I wasn't good enough to have any adjustment ability. Didn't have the skills, didn't have the material. So I got eaten alive a lot of times at these super big venues. One of them was a venue that the year before I had killed. It was a nightclub kind of Valo, but for some reason I locked in. I was so confident going into the finals in this one in Monterey. I had to follow Ralphie May and Vinny Favorito back to back. Geez. Just monster, blue, hard hitting. Yep. They destroyed this place. And I went up behind them and ate it. And they hated me. I was booed during my set, but you had to do 17 minutes to qualify for the set, right? So for 17 minutes, I was hated and verbally just booed. And then at the end of the night, no, I was the last guy to go that night. At the end, then they call you back up in the order that you finished. So with the blood still dripping from their teeth, they called me back up in 5th place, to which it was so audibly mean, and people just like scream. And then for some reason, I don't know what happened. It seemed like it took a while to bring up the 4th guy. I felt like I was being thrown out as a crucifixion. It was a horrible experience. And I drove home. I was not shamed. I was beaten. I was like, who calls me back? I was getting booed a moment before, and you brought them back out to go, in case you got some hatred left in your heart.
One more time.
Okay. But my new bad show would be when I have a huge career opportunity, and for some reason I tighten up a little bit. Mm-hmm. Because those are the ones. Everything else I accept stand-up comedy. But when you have a major career opportunity and something happens, and I still get momentarily tight, and it affects the set. So the set goes from a really good set, not a great set, but a really good set. And that difference when you're competing like on America's Got Talent, Last Comic Standing, huge opportunities, the difference between the comic doesn't do as well as me, but was open and connected the whole time, that person moves on. Mm. The comic that momentarily tightens and freezes a little bit and has that hesitation, you create doubt. So then I had a couple career opportunities where I pulled myself out of it, but that upfront moment where you're not communicating that openness that you got this, that has undone me. Now in America's Got Talent, I passed the first round, but it wasn't a big enough hit that I didn't come to the second round. And then same thing, Last Comic Standing audition. It was just the host before me wasn't doing what he's supposed to do. They're supposed to bring people up. He was riffing between comics, and right before me, he did a riff, made a real blue reference to someone. The crowd was like, ooh, and horror. And then they brought me up, and I didn't take the time like I would if it wasn't a showcase. I should have connected to what happened and just wasted that first 30 seconds on connection. Not a waste. It would have been the perfect move. Instead, I tried to launch into my TV set, and it created a wall. And that first 30 seconds, it just was a not connection. And I got so angry. I was like, there's no way with my level of experience that I'm going to die in this room. And I pulled it out, but it didn't matter because the first thing you saw was a guy go, ah!
Yeah.
And then you saw, oh, good, he's got some skills and he's funny, but he's not going to make the show.